beginning of our relationship, it was crazy. Like, we actually went to a...
When you say in the beginning of our relationship, you mean after? How long did you talk on social media before you actually met in person?
Well, no, we met in person first, and then you know how you meet somebody in person, and then you see them on social media, like, hey, didn't I see you at the mall?
Don't know about it, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, so it was like, didn't I see you at the mall? So we communicated a little while before we actually, started dating. We both had older sons, and so our actual first date was, a play date.
Gotcha.
And so, after dating, starting to talk and, actually dating, we kept our relationship secret in the beginning only because I slowly start to, learn about his status. And
what was his status? No objections. What was his status?
Where we're from in our hometown, everybody knows him. They know him as JT, though. And so...
As who?
JT.
JT.
So, yeah. So, like...
I know what you thought.
Why does everybody know JT?
Because JT is a garden tool.
Give me some examples. You're telling me what you believe, but I don't have any basis to believe it myself.
Oh, I have facts.
Okay, well, please.
So, his family member invited us to a birthday party that was actually at a club. So, it's not his real family member, it's just someone he grew up with. So we get there. I brought my friends with me for reassurance because I was like, you never know what may go down. So we get there, and two of the girls on the couch were just staring at me. So I'm looking like, what's I got some on my face? And so he whispers to me, he was like, those are my exes. And I was like, and they're sitting together? Like, they know your family member? And he's like, yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. It was no problem. Then we're leaving, and one girl is like, so this is the new female you talking to? I was like, who's she talking to? I was like, she's talking to me? She got to be talking to somebody behind me. And he was like, Taylor, just come on. And then another girl grabs him by his arm and was like, I thought we had something. And I'm looking at him like, what did y'all have? Like, I was a little confused.
Mr. Tucker, she's painting a picture of a guy who is well-known around town with the women. Is that true?
I know a lot of women. I do. I do. I know a lot of women. And Dallas is kind of small to me because the high school I went to.
Dallas is small. News to me.
Yeah, and the reason I say that is because I played high school sports, so, we played a lot of teams around Dallas. And me being good in basketball, a lot of people knew me, and including women. So when I go places, some women will come to me and say, hey, how you doing? Give me a hug and everything. But I'm not no guardian, so I'm not taking them with me to sleep with them. I just know a lot of women.
Do you have a lot of exes, though?
Ooh.
I mean...
I do, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of exes.
I have a lot of exes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, as long as you're doing them one at a time, it's okay.
He counts his exes from kindergarten.
Huh?
He counts his exes from kindergarten.
Which is fine.
He literally has a lot of exes.
But you can't get mad at a man for having a past. You know what I mean? If he dated a lot, he dated a lot. He can't all of a sudden not be who he was just because he's now with you.
Thank you. Thank you. She just said it. I ain't got to say nothing else after that. You cannot, bro. I was who I was before I met you. Thank you.
But there's a thing about dating and dating more than one person at a time that gives you the status of a guarding tool.
Did he date more than one person while he was dating you?
I'll let you answer that.
I did.
Well, explain that to me.
Okay, and I will admit, I did cheat. But I manned up, and I told her.
How far into your relationship did you cheat?
And how many times?
About 2 years into the relationship.
2 years into the relationship.
Yeah.
She indicates that it was more than once. Is that in fact true?
It was more than once. It was more than once.
With the same woman, or did you have clusters of cheats with different women, or how'd that work?
Her perspective, it was a million women, but it was just two. It was just two women.
At two different times.
2 different times.
I mean, was it?
It wasn't the same era.
Yeah, it was.
It was kind of it was different eras. But the thing is, I was looking for something that she wasn't giving me.
Well, what wasn't she giving you?
Why is it always that? We gotta come up with a better saying than that, fellas. It's always she wasn't giving me what I was looking for. She wasn't paying me attention. She didn't clap when I scored 20 at the basketball game. She didn't tell me that I good job banging the nail on the hammer. Bro, that's always the excuse. Now, not to say that it's invalid, but damn.
I mean, when it comes to Taylor, God, the things she do, for instance, this is very immature and she does it. I can say that, hey, Taylor, I may go play basketball. I'll be back later. She gets mad whenever I leave. I play basketball Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's just been me for a long time. And she's like, okay, go play basketball. So I leave, phone, it's her. I'm like, okay. Hey, while you playing basketball, go pay the cable bill. I'm like, what? Every time I do something, she throw in money. And it's like, it kind of started, touching me in place. I'm like, you know what, I don't know if I can really deal with this.
Do you bother him at times? I mean, I understand he's got to pay the cable bill. Everybody's got to do their part. But do you make it a point to start to pick at him about whatever he needs to do when he's leaving or trying to have a good time, to insert some negativity into his positive time?
No, this is the issue I have with that. He plays basketball Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, he goes and plays basketball maybe from about 6 to 10. And on Sundays, he leaves maybe about 5, and he plays till maybe about 8 or 9. He plays basketball for a good amount of times. The issue that I have is that when it comes to me doing something, then it's a problem. So it's like it's okay for him to go do what he wants with his life, but it's not okay.
But you need to stay at home with the kids.
I have to run around. I have to, get the kids ready, chase after them. I have to be I have to be super mom and I have to be Superman and Superwoman.
What you're discussing about being Superwoman, you talked a lot about in your papers. You say that he's not being the man of the household and that he's kind of more of a boy as opposed to a leader and somebody you can rely on. Why don't you give me some examples of what you're talking about?
Well, every woman wants their man to be like, babe, just sit down, chill, put your feet up. I got it.
I don't get that
from him. And the thing is that in the beginning, I was giving him everything that he wanted, he was looking for, that he needed in a woman. But because he was out...
List those things.
Okay, like...
What was everything he wanted and needed?
When we first moved together, and we moved together at the 2-year mark of our relationship. When we first moved together, I would cook. I would always ask him, his needs were more important than mine. Mm-hmm. How I put it is, he was basically a priority. Mm-hmm. And him and our family was a priority.
Were you both working?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So we in my opinion, it was like, I wanted a home, a family. And when you bring two blended families in, sometimes it's kind of hard to put that connection together. So I was trying to give him everything that he wanted in a woman.
How did he fail in reciprocating?
Because he made me feel like, okay, if you're out here cheating and you're talking to other people, what am I not doing? Mm-hmm. So as time went on, it was like, okay, you continue to do it, and I'm literally trying to give you everything that you're asking for, but you're still looking for it in somebody else. So as time went on, it was like, okay, why keep doing this if he's not appreciating it? And it's gotten to the point now to where it's like I'm numb to it all. So we'll get into an argument, and in the beginning, I would be like all under him, why are we arguing? Like, what's wrong? Talk to me. And I'm like running after him. Mm-hmm. Now I'm just like, bye.
What she's saying, Mr. Bell, is that she was giving her all to the relationship while you were still running around, and that made her feel unappreciated, like she was giving all her efforts and you were giving nothing in response. Why don't you respond to that? Is that accurate at all?
No, I respond to all that. It's the fact that Taylor is inactive. What she does on my daily basis, what I see her doing, she comes in the house, the first thing she do is have her phone out. She goes, lay in the bed, and she's on social media. That's all I ever see. I'm active with the kids Monday through Sunday. Even with her child, I throw footballs with them. I done talk to her, putting them in sports.
When it comes to the kids, I'm the one who put them in sports, point blank, period. I'm the one who's always trying to think ahead for the future. Tell him, we need to set this much back for savings if we're going to get a house. We need to do this when it comes to the boys. Since they want to play football and run track and, do soccer, we need to open up another account just for them specifically with sports so that we can make sure that we won't go broke behind everything that they're doing.
Is that true that she's managing the future and finances based upon what you need, what the children will need? Is that true?
No, that is true. And me coming into a relationship like this, and to be honest, this is the best relationship I ever had. Because I never had a woman make me understand, credit and money and everything. So when she's teaching me this, because she's actually teaching me, I didn't know nothing about credit. I thought credit was just a credit card. I didn't know
You had to establish it and how to do it, how to go about it.
You got exactly, and she taught me all that. But the thing is, yes, we both signed them up for football, but I'm trying to get the understanding is you're not active. And I done seen her be active with her child, but not mine.
Man, they gotta stay together, bro. You can tell that he love her, she love him. They both feel like they doing. It's just rough right now. It's just a rough patch right now. They ain't got no fucking option. Take one of them here, one of them there. Swam! Put them motherfuckers together.
For instance, I would see her, play with her son, but she doesn't even interact with my biological kids.
Judge, can I say something on that?
Hang on just a second. Do you want to respond to his allegations that you interact more meaningfully with your own children than his?
Yes. Okay. His definition of interaction is playing football, wrestling, tearing up my house, and all of the above. I'm not finna wrestle with y'all. I'm the only girl in the house. I've told him multiple times, I need a daughter so we can sit pretty and get our nails done. Because that's what I want to do. He wants me to run around outside, play baseball. I don't do that.
Is that what you're looking for
Yes.
him, to engage in that kind of conduct?
I don't want her out there playing catch or play pitcher in a position.
What would you like to see her do that she's not doing?
I want her to be outside with us and watch instead of being in the house on social media.
I look out the window.
It's times that...
Can I say this to you? Can I say this to you? My husband and I raised 6 sons. 4 he had, before my stepsons, and 2 we had biologically. The outside was their thing.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I ain't interested in no balls. Every time I went out there, I got hit with the ball. I couldn't throw it far enough. Mama, you weak, all this kind. Not interested, not doing it. That's his gig. Now, inside, I was down with the books and the reading and the homework and the hygiene and I did all of that. But the dude stuff was his gig because he's got the little dudes. He goes out there with it. That's, everybody has a part to play, but everybody doesn't have to play in every part of it. She can be a good mother doing other things. She doesn't have to do what you do well and naturally and want to do. So what I'm asking you is, does she not interact with the children in other arenas other than physical sports activity?
I mean, to be honest, she does to an extent. I mean, it's times I done came in and bathed the kids and cooked and made sure they do homework and still play with them. But it's like when I say she's inactive, she's just laying on the bed. And then when they come in the room and try to jump in the bed and play, y'all go in y'all room. I'm like, it's like you don't want to be interactive with.
Have you gotten sucked into that E-Life? It happens.
No,
it happened to me at one point where I was just, because you can check things and blah, 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 blah. But my husband said, you know what? I'm sitting right here. What is your problem?
Problem is, Undefeated just dropped, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be watching the videos, liking it. Life's good. Life's good.
So I'm going to ask you, do you get sucked into that and you don't pay as much attention to the children as you might?
No. Sometimes I just need a mental break. Sometimes because I'm always planning, I'm always doing something, I'm always getting them ready for the game, football games, taking them to practice. I'm always doing something, but I never have time for myself. I don't even have time to go get my nails done sometimes, to go get a pedicure. I don't have time for myself. And sometimes I just need that mental break to where I shut everything out.
How long are your mental breaks?
Usually a couple of hours, because during the week I have no time.
You want her to repay money that you learned her for delinquent personal bills. Explain that to me.
Okay, so Taylor lost her job. So at this time, I was paying her bills, paying some of the bills that she has. And
when you explain to me paying her bills, or did you loan her money? And what bills did you loan her money for?
Well, I loaned her money for the rent and other utilities that we were paying.
Well, what, you living there?
Yeah,
I was staying there, but I was paying. We split everything down the middle. So I was paying her side and my side, which I didn't have no problem, because that's what a man's supposed to do. I was just trying to show her that I'm here for you. So she told me out of her mouth, she said, look, I appreciate you for doing this. I'm going to pay you back. I said, look, you don't have to pay me back all at once. I just know if I need something, you have my back. She was like, okay, I got you. Time goes by, almost a year goes by. She receives a school check. And she comes in and say, oh, I'm getting this much. And I'm like, okay, that's your money. Like, that's your money. So I lose my check at work from some bank purposes. They accidentally took my whole check. They said it was going to be 14 days till I get reimbursed back. So now I'm down to like $20 for 2 weeks. So I asked her, I said, hey, you know, can you loan me some money? She's like, yeah, but I already reached my account my number for today, so I'll do it tomorrow. That's fine. The next day, she comes in walking like this. I'm like, I'm looking, I'm like, she got a new tattoo. And then she's like, yeah, this costs this much, this much. I'm like, okay, I like it. Next day comes by. She pulls,
I got you. Ms. Bell, what I'm going to ask you is this. When you couldn't work, did he take over, and then once you got a check, you let the man out there with no money at all?
I agreed that I would give him back $900. $900 is not what I owed him. I was just like, look, I mean, you've helped me, you know, this entire time. So I'm going to give you back this amount of money just to show my appreciation. I get my school check, and we just moved. So I told him, okay, look, I'm going to give you back this specific amount. But when I got that money, I put $2,500 in my savings. And then I ended up getting a new car because I didn't have a car, and he knew I needed a car. So I got a new car or whatever. And then I got a tattoo, but it was only like $200. So I gave him the rest. I was going to give him the rest of the
Why
money.
would you get a $200 tattoo with money that you got for schooling?
Well,
That's
I had my check too. So it was like my check and my school money.
You got
mixed in.
3 kids. You don't have the money for $200
But
tattoo.
they were already taken care of because
No,
I
they're
make
not
sure-
taken care of. They've got fully funded college funds.
Well, I have savings accounts for them. Yeah, they have CD
But they're
accounts.
not funded. I'm going to end this thing. Look, both of you need to grow up. You guys are living together. You have a child together. You have a home together. All of this, I loaned you money, I did this and all that. That's ridiculous. It's absurd. You are in one household. You are doing one thing. You are trying to go from one place to another, do so hand in hand. I'm not going to honor all that nonsense that, you know what I mean? You gave me this, I gave you that. I can't go back through that accounting and get it right. You're together. Do it together. Grow up. Be a, you know, act like you got some sense. No more tattoos. There will be no recovery. This matter is adjourned.